Hello friends, and welcome to this very special episode of the Unlock podcast called I Want to Support You, but I Need Your Help. So, with the recent release of season 3 of my podcast, many people know that I'm on an adventure. And that adventure is to truly unlock and understand how do we be the best version of ourselves, how do we live an extraordinary life, but also, most importantly, how do we create magical experiences? And I'm told week in, week out that how much people love this podcast, how much value it adds to people's lives. And I want to take it up a little notch. I want to help support people in their road and on their adventures and their journeys to being successful, being the best version of themselves. And through my stories and all the wonderful guests that come onto this podcast, I thought, well, why don't we make something a little bit more special? And this is where I'm calling out and making a pitch to anybody that listens to this episode. I would love your support to come and be one of my unlocked Patrons. Yes, with the recent release of season 3, I'm releasing my very own unlocked Patreon community. I'm very excited. It's a very special thing. It's taken me a long while to get this sorted, but it is a very exciting community where we'll have individuals that are all passionate about personal development. We're all bettering ourselves in life, being the best version of ourselves, and also living an extraordinary life. And basically, the Patreon is a private community where you can receive some juicy content. You can receive early access to episodes, shout-outs at the end of every episode. So if you do join and support the Patreon, you can get your name shouted out at the end of every episode. You can join in live, ask me anything. So in the private community, you can ask me anything and you'll have your questions answered live on air in an episode just for you. You'll also get behind the scenes content of how it's made, bonus episodes, outtakes, and little snippets from the interviews that I won't be sharing live on the podcast, and it'll just be for you in a private feed. But also, I'm also going to be doing some live hangouts with me. Yes. So the opportunity there to meet me once a month on Zoom, and maybe, as now kind of restrictions are calming down, we can actually probably meet in person. But it'll be a live hangout with me, a kind of mini mastermind group where we can commit to each other, to help each other, be the best version of ourselves, chat about success, and help each other to become the best version of ourselves. And you can do that every single month. And as I said, you can have your questions answered live on air. You'll get access to never released content. Oh, and one thing as well, huge discounts off my digital courses at the Unlock School. Yes. So earlier on this year, I did release a course called How to Create a Magical Customer Experience. Did a soft launch, planning to relaunch it in October, and you can get discounts off that course. And also, the good news is that I'm going to be planning to do more courses throughout the year. So you'll get early access to those courses, trial versions of it. You'll even get huge discounts that nobody else can get unless you are part of the Patreon. Now you might be thinking, why am I doing this? Well, I really do love this podcast. I love talking, if you haven't guessed that already, but I love my fans of the Unlock podcast, and I want to share this amazing adventure with you. If you listen to episode 1, you'll know that I'm on this journey for personal development and self-improvement, and I want to be an international speaker. And what this community will do will help shape the future of the podcast. You'll be able to get early access, obviously, to content, but it'll then be shaped around the fans and to make sure that we're going in the right direction. And you'll get some extra content about how I'm actually making a success in my life of achieving my dreams and my goals. So to reward and support my followers, I'm going to give you some juicy content. I'm going to give you more engagement. It'll be more intimate, but in turn, this can help shape the future of the podcast and support others to unlock their best selves too. Now, the really easy thing, it just costs a tiny amount of money if you want to. So there's no pressure. But if you would love to support the podcast, it costs as little as £1. That's it. So there are 3 tiers with an extra included tier, but it's so simple to choose. We have a £1 tier, a £3 tier, or a £5 tier. So if you like enjoying and listening to the podcast, don't worry, it is still going to remain free. But if you would love to support, it helps out with the costs of running a podcast because it's not free. You do have to pay for hosting and getting it out there. But as little as £1, you can have access to the podcast and you can be a patron, which means you can get your name shouted out at the end of every single episode. It will remain in history forever. And you get access to the community as well. Now, the other 2 tiers, which I'm going to read out to you as well, which are really, really cool as well. Now, I appreciate that it's been tough times, so you may not have that extra bit of cash. But as I said, there are 3 tiers. The Unlock Patron is £1 per month. You get 10% off all Unlock courses at Teachable. So that is my courses that I've released online. You get your name shouted out at the end of every podcast episode, and you get to be a member of the Unlock Podcast Patron-only chat community where you can connect with me individually on a private community. Now, if you're thinking a little bit more flush and you know what, you're going to give up one coffee a month or one cup of tea from Costa at £3, by donating £3 a month, you receive all the benefits from that £1 tier, but you also get 20% off all of my Unlock courses. You get early access to episodes that no one else will be able to hear except for you in your private feed. And you get to take part in an Ask Me Anything every single month where you can ask me any questions. They'll get answered live on air. But just for the £3 tier, you also get a bonus episode just for you, no one else, of Lessons Learned, where I'll be sharing and reflecting all of the lessons of all of the guests that I get on every single month. And you'll also get some juicy content too about some of the things I'm working on at the minute, which is the success principles, which I'm very excited about. And then the last thing, with a little bit extra, so if you can afford to probably put £5 away a month to help support this podcast, this means that you are unlocked awesomeness. And for £5, you get all the benefits from the Unlock Patron and Unlock Superstar tier. That's the £1 and the £3 tier. But you also get a monthly live hangout, mastermind style chat with me once a month on Zoom to unlock success. It's a great way to connect. We can share our success stories, help each other, and kind of coach each other to be a success and be the best version of ourselves in life. And 30%, yes, I said it, 30% off all Unlocked courses at the Unlocked School on Teachable. You'll also get bonus video recordings from the episode. So you may notice that I don't actually put a lot of video content out about the podcast, but you can have bonus video recordings. You get to see some of the outtakes. You'll get to see some juicy behind the scenes content of how it's made, and extra episodes and videos where I'll be showing up in the Patreon feed and sharing more stories and more tips and tricks to be a success, and early trial access to new courses and masterclasses as I release them. It's a really good tier to be in, that one, that £5. You get a lot of juicy content. If you can afford it, that'll be even better. But look, as I said, there is a £1 tier, there's a £3 tier, and a £5 tier, and there is a fourth tier as well. Now, for any businesses listening to this or any fans of the podcast that wants to promote their business, for just £12.99 a month, you can have your business, special offer, or message shared out to thousands of people from around the world. This podcast did get into the top 100 of self-improvement podcasts. It's listened to regularly from around the world. And if you want your message shared for just £12.99 a month, this is the tier for you. You can have your message, your business, your exclusive offer read out pre-roll. That means at the start of every episode, between, in the middle, so cut right in the middle of an episode, or even at the end of every episode, can have your business and your message shared out to the world. Now, I'm not going to be running too much of those, so it'll probably be on a one-to-one basis. So if you want to find out more about that, I can send a sponsorship kit to you. And if you want your business read out and, shared across the world, because it's a platform to get your business listened to. Now, obviously, the audience is business owners, SMEs, solopreneurs, and different types of businesses, all looking to improve success. So maybe you have an offer, or maybe you have something that you would like to get shared out to my audience. If you do, get in touch. Contact info@rickylott.co.uk and you can find out more about it. So I'm going to put a link to this in the show notes. I would love to support you. Now, I appreciate that means you're going to be paying me £1 or £2 or £5, whatever it might be. But I really genuinely want to grow this podcast and make a real success of this and help other people be the best version of themselves. I have a purpose in life that is to inspire people using joy and enthusiasm to be the best version of themselves and to create magical experiences. And I would love for you to support this journey. As my business continues to grow with the magic and the speaking in line with that, it costs money, unfortunately, to run a podcast. And I would love if you want to support me, and I can then support you. And we can grow together and share this adventure together. So that's it. Just a special episode. I wanted to do this a little bit of a shout out. If you would love to support my little Patreon, that would be absolutely amazing. There are 3 tiers, £1. So if you're struggling and you know what, you can part with £1 a month. I would absolutely love you. You get your name shouted out at the end of every episode. You get 10% off all the courses and you get access to the community. For £3, you get all those benefits from the £1 tier, 20% off all Unlocked courses, early access to the episodes. You get the Ask Me Anything session as well, and you get the Lessons Learned bonus episode every month. And £5, you get all of those wonderful benefits from the £1 and the £3 tier, and a monthly live hangout with me. 30% off all Unlocked courses, bonus video recordings, juicy behind the scenes content of how it's made, and extra content and early trial access to new courses and masterclasses. I'm out of breath. I can't talk. I'm so excited. That's why I want to share this with you. So if you would love to support the podcast, I would love to support you too and help you grow and unlock the best version of yourself and live an extraordinary life. Details are in the show notes. Please head to the show notes. And if you want to find out more about the sponsorship, then get in touch at info@rickylock.co.uk. Thank you for listening to this episode. I look forward to seeing you in the Patreon community. Goodbye.